I tried to do the Sunday sit down thing that I usually do, but there's a mirror back there, so you just see me walking. Anyway, but I'm going to keep that in because that's the type of guy that I am and the type of guy that you can expect. So as you can see, got my Christmas headband, whatever these are. So Jason wearing his hat, easily one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Jason with any sort of headwear, I just don't know what it is. It just doesn't look right, you know? It just, like, take it off, get it away, like, never. But I mean, I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with it. There's just a lot wrong with it. But anyway, so we've learned a few things as we go into towards the new year after Christmas. Chelsea remain top, 12th straight win. Zlatan Ibrahimovic doesn't celebrate Christmas. Christmas celebrates Zlatan because the man has now scored 11 goals in 10 games in all competitions for Manchester United, leading them to a 3-1 win over David Moyes' Sunderland. His return to Old Trafford was, as expected, a failure. So there's certain things I wanted to discuss in this clip. First of all, Chelsea, the omen, every time they went into Christmas top of the league, they have won the league. Will that continue? No Costa today, no Kante, no fucking problem. No problems. They win this game. Pedro had a phenomenal game from start to finish. That was one of the clearest examples of a game where I was definitely going to make some money on it if I was to put money on it. I had Chelsea -1, made a little pocket on that. Not as much. I did put more so on other games to help boost that winnings, and some of those games didn't win, but I managed to make a little bit of a pocket from it because that's what I do in Christmas. I come home, I eat a lot of food, I wear some dodgy jumpers, my accent gets stronger, and I lose a ridiculous amount of money, especially in Boxing Day football. But because the break landed on a weekend, it means there wasn't as many games as you would expect. Usually around Christmas, there's a lot of midweek games as well, so I'll lose a lot more money. But every cloud has a silver lining, and that silver lining is I just bet more money on this one-off Boxing Day jam-packed fixture, and I lost just as much. So there you go. Either way, Manchester United, I wanted to talk about them. Are they still in contention? So the way the table stands at the moment, as I just looked at it for reference, no, I'm not going to play around here. I can't remember it off by heart. I'm good, fellas, but I'm not that good. Chelsea top of the table. They are at the moment on 46 points. Liverpool, who are playing tomorrow, behind them in 37. Just 9 points behind them. Arsenal with a victory today, a very well hard-fought victory, leaving it late against West Brom, who are as resilient as ever. With Gandalf, you shall not pass in there, but eventually, Jesus, you'd think I'd have more eggnog, but I didn't. Probably still hungover from yesterday. Olivier Giroud was the man who eventually broke the deadlock, and it was a great victory for them. A needed victory for Arsenal. A clean sheet, one of their first in the last 4 or 5, someone said to me, along those lines. But anyway, they are proving they're still in contention. So to go further down the line, Manchester City are still playing at the moment. So whatever way that game goes against Hull won't be included in this video. Maybe there'll be another one coming up. Who knows? But Manchester United. Mkhitaryan comes off the bench and scores a wonderfully acrobatic goal. Just spectacular. Playing very well. Pogba looks more and more like a Manchester United captain. Not just am I saying this with the hope that he becomes one, so I like to see players reach their potential, but he's dictating play, he's working hard, his pass completion rate. There was a graphic I used not long ago on Twitter to show that he's not having a bad season. He's actually in comparison with one of his best seasons at Juventus, but people will continue to rag on that because, let's be honest, the price tag, which he can't control, he's got nothing to do with that. That's Adidas, that's Juventus, that's Manchester United, that's not Paul Pogba. But that is used against him quite a lot. And I was one that scrutinised him. I criticised him from the moment he stepped on and didn't live up to expectation. I wasn't expecting a magical and kind of instantaneous effect when he stepped on there. I just wanted to see hard work. I wanted to see simple passes completed. I wanted to see first touch. Those were things that left him early on that weren't there. He's now bounced back. He's found himself in a nice position. And with his form and Zlatan's form, it is not irregular that I flip-flop and everyone else flip-flops. Are United in it? Are they out? That's what the Premier League does. We can't predict the future. If I think they're out of the running 4 weeks back and then suddenly they win 3 games on the trot, of course they're back in the running. It's not me jumping the gun by saying, oh, I think they might be out the running. That's just me looking at what I've seen, analysing what I think, and then looking at their fixtures ahead. They have Middlesbrough next, who just lost against Burnley. So, yeah, they can go on another few game winning streak with the fixtures coming up, especially with Liverpool facing Manchester City. Some of the bigger teams collide, and they could take advantage of that. So, are they still in contention for their Premier League winning trophy? I don't know. I think it's firmly within Chelsea's hands, and the way they're playing, this was one of their toughest tasks, coming up against a resilient team who sit in mid-table. But They had no N'Golo Kante, who's been the battery in the midfield, and no Diego Costa, who's just been phenomenal up top. And they won comfortably, very comfortably. Antonio Conte's team just look like one of the hardest teams to beat, like one of the most well-oiled machine in the Premier League. And I think that it's going to take a lot to beat them, but it doesn't mean that Manchester United are not out of contention for pushing them further. I mean, when you look at it right now, they're 4 points behind Liverpool, albeit Liverpool have a game in hand, but they're 4 points behind Arsenal. We know how this Premier League works. It could change, no problem. The league literally is emphasised by this headband. This is it. Flip, flop, like my floppy hair. Stay up, stay up. Good hair. I like how the light shining here makes me look kind of like an angel-like figure, when we all know. I'm not going to make a rude comment. But those are my thoughts at this moment. I'm happy to be home briefly. I will be back in the studio very soon, heading back to the other side for the new year. I'll be back in American soil. But it's just nice to be in time, in the same time zone, watching these games and enjoying them the way they should be enjoyed, with a beer and losing a lot of money. I think if Jason lived in the UK, he'd be on the streets. I think he would lose a ridiculous amount of money. I don't think he'd ever be afloat. I think he'd be owed up to the bookies. I think he would have to blind himself from walking by the bookies that are on every corner in the UK. But those are my thoughts. Manchester United, are they still in contention? I think so. I think it's going to be a hard task. But the way they're playing, Zlatan's form, we know that some of the best references in our comment section. When Zlatan crosses the street, the cars look both ways. When Zlatan took a lie detector test, the lie detector confessed everything. Oh, they fucking crack me up, man. This is why I love you guys. Either way, let us know some of your favourites going into the new year. Will Zlatan continue this form? How impressed are you with the 35-year-old who came in and is doing severe damage to other teams in the Premier League? How impressed were you with Mkhitaryan? How impressed were you with Chelsea? We've got things to look out for in the Premier League. It's exciting stuff moving forward. Comment below. Twitter, Francis_Maxwell. Instagram, Francis Maxwell Host. Always love a nice follow over there. And I'll catch you guys very soon. Where's the stop?